Hello everyone and welcome to Zpeaktures Productions. I'm Richard and today I'll be talking about the Moondrop Para here. Now the Moondrop Para, in case you don't know, take a look at the box here. This Animager box is one of the newest headphones from Moondrop. In fact, this is the latest one that Moondrop just launched a few months back, like I think 1 or 2 months back. And in Singapore, you can find a few copies of this. It's available in stock. You can try it and purchase it if you like it. Now, the thing is that this is a copy I purchased. Today is Black Friday and this copy was going at a good price, 390 Sing dollars. So if you put in the USD, there will be about 270, 280 USD. This makes it really affordable. I mean, today, now, in US, you can purchase it for about 260 USD. But you know, once you add in tax and everything, it's comparable in price. So this is the Moondrop Para and well, I purchased this because I wanted an affordable headphone that I enjoyed. Now, I used to use the HD600 here, but I wanted a planar headphone that actually sound good. I used to have a HE500, but one driver has spoiled and I just don't want to bother with it. So I went around test a few of the more affordable planar magnetics, and a lot of them I felt that they were very sibilant or they lacked some oomph, some power. Then I tried Moondrop series. So I tried the Venus and the Para. I find that the Venus itself was very big sounding, very bright headphone, quite prone to sibilant, which I don't really like. Now the Para has a toned down part of the sibilant, not as white sounding, but overall it gives a bit more body in the center. Now that being said, I would say as the Para here is more towards the neutral bright sound rather than most of like the Odyssey, which is like neutral dark, or DCA, which is like neutral, a bit dark, or if you compare to like the Abyss, which is neutral, at least to me, neutral and maybe a touch bright. But that being said, you know, everything considered, the Para here is something I purchased because I really like the sound when I audition it. Now, when I audition it, of course, I was using the M17 together with the Emblem because it's portable and it's extremely powerful. If it doesn't sound good on the Emblem, it probably won't sound good on anything. The Emblem has both the voltage out and the current out, so I can try which port sounds better, make a decision from there whether I should buy the headphone or not. So obviously I bought the Para. Now the Para was purchased for a few things also because it is lighter, and personally I prefer to wear this compared to the Venus. Then considering the brightness and the sibilance part, I didn't really want the Venus, so I bought the Para. So let's talk a bit about the Para construction here. This is a half metal, half plastic and some cloth kind of construction. So this thing is, I believe, plastic, and then the band is metal. The side here is metal. This thing, I believe, is actually plastic. This thing here, I don't know, plastic or metal, I'm not too sure. And then you can see the clear plastic here for the tip here. In case you didn't see, you know, this is plastic. And you can pull out the cable, clear plastic here. So obviously they did some weight saving measures by including some plastic and metal. And then the metal is extremely perforated. So I mean, overall this is quite a light headphone. I mean, let me take another headphone and compare on the spot. Now this is the MM500, which is 500 gram. About the same weight, 500. About the same weight. Now the exact weight I shall put on the screen. I didn't weigh. I didn't bring my weighing machine here. So yeah. That being said, this is not very heavy. The Venus was extremely heavy, and the Abyss here is also more heavy. So no complaints. This is pretty okay weight for me to put on my head for prolonged hours. Now, how does it look like on my head? So a little bit on the adjustment mechanism. This follows the same as those you get in the Hi-Fi Man series. There are clicks. This is quite new, so it's quite tight still. Then once you click it into place, and then you just put your head. Now the headphone is very new now, so a lot of things are still very tight. Like this one is really tight, as you can see. I'm using a lot of pressure. So if I put it in some weird ass way like this, it actually doesn't fall back into shape even though it bangs each other. And then also same thing for the swivel. It's still a little bit tight. If I was to swivel it in some weird ways and I shake it, it doesn't change. Now, notice something about the band. This band here is very flexible. It does flex. So if you do intend to walk around with this headphone for whatever reason, you'll hear the boing, 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 the springy sound, which isn't very nice. But yeah, not as bad as the DCA Stealth, I think. The DCA Stealth also, when you walk around, there is that flapping sound, same as the Susvara. So. But that being said, I think overall this is a very nicely constructed headphone. Those parts that I feel should have metal, like the bands and the side have metal. And then this cloth thing here, well, it doesn't look very premium, but it doesn't look hard to replace. I bet you can probably get from Moondrop some replacement. Overall, for the price of 390 Sing dollars or, you know, 260 USD today, normally priced at 300 USD, I think this is pretty darn good. I mean, the quality, the material used here is pretty a lot of material. Okay, with that said, you know, Moondrop did give this box here, Animager box. I like the artwork here. And in this Animager box, there is extra pads. So the pad that they give you is those very similar to a lot of headphones today, which is outside some sort of leather platter or something similar to it, and then inside is a more velvety type of cloth, a bit softer velvety cloth here. I have to say the foam is really cheap. I mean, I own many headphones here, high-end ones, mid-range one. You know, I even think the Sennheiser 650 there feels way better than pressing the foam here. This foam feels really cheap. It feels like one of the cheapest foam you can get. Let me press. Yep, even my M50 there, the foam feels better. But that being said, because it is still a very big pad when you actually wear on your head, your ears do not touch, at least for me, my ears do not touch the inner driver. So no complaint on that. Still pretty much okay. I just have to adjust. Oh, all great. As long as I feel like the pressure is even throughout, that's all nice. So yes, even though the foam doesn't feel good, you know, it feels very cheapish. But considering its price and it still does its job, you put your head, it surrounds your ear properly, adjust the pressure, it's all good, so no complaints. Now, this headphone comes with this cable. This is a braided cable, but it's a 3.5 stereo cable. I think I touched the mic. 3.5 stereo cable is braided, and then it ends same as the Hi-Fi Man 3.5 kind of ending. Now, this specific cable I got here, right, was something I purchased through Lazada or Taobao, I've forgotten. I can show you the link here. Now this is also 3.5 millimeters, and this is a balanced cable, and it's very affordable. I remember it's like, what, $30 or $40. I mean, cables from China is really cheap if you know where to get them. If you cannot find them, get somebody to bring it for you for 10, 20, or even twice the price. It's still way more affordable than many branded cables. And honestly, I have tried many cables. I think the difference for cables are very minute. Very, 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 very minute. Okay, but that's a story for another day. So, you know, cables here. And because I wanted a balanced connector, because for headphone amplifiers, more often than not, their balanced connector do sound different. And to me, usually clearer and better and a bit more control, and sometimes also a bit more dynamic than the stereo counterpart. So most amplifiers with balance, I will use it in balance mode, unless it's like the Emblem, I will use it in single-ended mode. As such, I plug this cable in for balance. Now, I spent a lot of time saying a lot of things, but today, when I purchased it, I brought it back home, I listened to this for about 2 to 3 hours. I tested it like from the Apple dongle, you can see here, dongle. And then this is the quiz style dongle, this is M15. And then I also tried it with M17 directly, this is the Fio. And then the rest of the audition of this, or should I say testing of this headphone, I tried mainly with this amplifier. This is the A70 Pro. And most likely, if you were to buy this headphone, this is pretty much the highest end of an amplifier you'll probably get. Honestly, this amplifier costs twice the price of the headphone. So for all practical reasons, most likely this is the highest amplifier you will get, most likely when you buy this headphone. And there is a good reason to buy this amplifier for this headphone, because I will explain a bit on the power requirements. Of course, I went higher. I tried with the Enlem. I also have the Ferrum here. But I will say, as this headphone does improve if you use a better amplifier. If you are using same solid state Class A, B type, I will say as the improvement is very small. But if you're using something like the Enlem, then the change in sound signature, because the Enlem has a very different sound for current mode, the change in sound signature, which is more aggressive, more punchy, and wider soundstage, do apply to this particular headphone here, and it actually does make it more, I would say, as enjoyable, but I'll talk about it later. So this headphone here, now when I listen to it, how do I put it? Today is not a full review, so I will just keep my sound description a bit more brief, because I have not heard every single thing. Anyway, I don't believe in burn-in, or should I say, maybe a few minutes, a few hours, 1 hour, maybe that's all it needs. I really don't believe in long-term burn-in or any form of burn-in normally. Well, different audiophiles got different preference. That's me. For this headphone itself, I feel that I prefer it over the MM500 I have here. Now, put the perspective, the MM500 costs 1.6K if you buy brand new. And if you buy in Singapore, this is a good 2.5K Sing dollars. 390, 400 Sing dollars, right? 8 times the price. 8 times the price. And this is, no, not 8 times. My maths failed on me. 6 times the price. So 6 times the price, and I personally prefer the Para over the MM500, and both of them I auditioned very long. But it's just that when I hear and listen to the Para more and more, I really like the sound signature. But it's most likely because of the genre of song I listen to. I love to listen to female vocals. I love to listen to, like, as I said, Ultima, that soundtrack, and I listen to like Edo, Yoasobi, the female vocals that are more lighter in nature. And this headphone, you know, if you ask me to describe the sound signature, it's on the neutral bright tone, but it is not sibilant. So one of the biggest problem I have with a lot of the planar magnetics at the cheaper price point is that they are sibilant. And they are so sibilant that even my Enlem cannot, you know, remove it. Enlem is a bit more warm and thick. It doesn't remove the sibilant away. So, you know, people will say that don't buy amplifier to fix headphones, and it's really true. I totally agree with that. And most of the headphones really are more sibilant, at least for me when I listen to them at this price point. And at this price point, I usually prefer dynamic headphones. But this guy here was acceptable. It still gets sibilant sometimes, but not that bad. In terms of bass, I feel that it's punchy enough, it's tight enough, punchy enough, and it rumbles enough, especially when I listen to the song Love Car. It really is pretty enjoyable. I mean, it's not a beast enjoyable, not a Diana, not a 1266 enjoyable, but you know, compared to like MM500, it is actually slightly more enjoyable than MM500, right? And then when it comes to the vocals, I love the more brighter vocals. Now, they are bright, but they're not sibilant, so great for me because that is the genre I'm listening to. And even when I listen to Ultima, I do prefer a slightly brighter tone to the music itself. All great. And when it comes to treble, I mean, some people say it's a bit hot and sizzling. I think it is a little bit more on the sizzling side. You know, you can really feel it. It gives you a lot of air and a lot of air. And when the bells hit everything, you can hear it very, very obvious. But it's not that bad. You know, it's not bad. At least to me, I'm not affected by it, and I do enjoy the music a lot. Now, soundstage wise, it is a little bit more of a not too wide, a little bit tall, very little layers. My wife actually tried. I always love to use my wife to try out my headphones because she will just tell me honestly how she feels. She doesn't care how much I spend on it. And she feels that this headphone is very flat, which means that there is sideways, there is a bit up, but no, when it comes to layering between the singer and all the instruments, it is very flat. To me, I felt that it is also, I would say, it's not as layered as, say, like the Abyss, the Susvara, or the Diana Phi. The Diana Phi is a bit wider. It's not taller, wider, but it's also more layered. The layering here is quite minimal, but that's maybe because of how the treble air and everything just tend to compress everything a little bit together. Now, that's my speculation. You know, I'm not an expert in frequency. I did do mixing for a while, but I've forgotten most of the things I've learned. And when it comes to, I would say, as transition and decay, I feel that this is not like the rest of the normal planars, which are very plucky, very fast and plucky. This feels a bit more like dynamic driver. Not too plucky, just nice, but not rounded. It's really like just nice to me. So actually I do enjoy listening treble instruments and string instruments and even drums on this, because it is, I would say, as just nice, not too plucky, but clean enough, not rounded. Everything in the between, you know, makes it very enjoyable. At least to me, once again, it's to me, right? And then there is the details, which I feel that because it's very treble heavy, most of the details that hides in the treble is revealed very easily. But I would say the mid details and the low details occasionally do get lost. But when I'm trying with other headphones, unless I'm trying like the Abyss or the Diana, then do I find a difference? I find with the MM500, which is a more darker sounding headphone, it suffers the same problem. And maybe with, let's say, my DCA Stealth, which is hiding here, yeah, I can hear a bit more details, but you know, really not much more than this. In fact, if you are talking about treble details, this is way more treble details. So, you know, very quick, this is the initial impression. I love this headphone, and I hope that, you know, maybe after a few more months, I'll still love it, because I really want to have one of such headphones to constantly listen to music, both at home and in office. And I really do not want to bring my flagships along. If this suffices for me, I would like to say thank you to Moondrop for it. I mean, I really enjoyed this headphone, especially for my genre of music. And I hope you enjoy my short little initial impression of the Moondrop Para. And I'll see you again. Bye bye. Do like and subscribe for more videos in the future.